All right, Ambush. Today I am very excited to be bringing to you a singer-songwriter that I have heard has been called a prodigy, has been called an epic songwriter who is building her name here still. At the age of 14, she has just released her second single, which we are diving behind here today with my guest, Kaiya Gamble. How's it going today, Kaiya?
I am doing absolutely awesome. How are you, Colton?
Oh, I am having a beautiful day, and hearing the energy in your voice makes it even better.
Thank you.
All right. So, of course, I mentioned that you just released a new single, but before I get to that new single, I want to lay a little bit of a foundation for the listener because, of course, you released your debut single just almost a year ago, December of 2020. And to release a debut single at 13, 14 years old, I mean, releasing a debut single in general, pretty exciting moment. So what was that like for you?
And it's funny you mentioned excited because, that moment I tried to describe it in one word. And it's probably to be nervous-sided. Trademark My Little Pony. Please don't sue me. I was just so nervous to put out Speak Out because it's the first song you've ever put out into a world, right? Your debut single is your sort of entry into that sort of realm. So it scared the living bejeebies out of me. But, there's a saying that says, if your dreams don't scare you, they aren't big enough. So even though I was, shaking until midnight struck, I was so excited to put this song out into the world, especially on my birthday of all days, actually. It was like the best birthday present I could have ever asked for.
Oh, wow. A gift to yourself. Let's start my music career. Let's go.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow. So that's incredible. So as you mentioned, you're very nervous, and I can imagine inside of a moment like that, there's quite a few lessons to be learned, especially inside of last year where the music industry itself was adapting. So what were some of the things that maybe you learned during the release of that first single that maybe you've tried to apply here the second time around?
I've learned a lot, definitely, because, Speak Out I released all on my own. So there were so many, bumps in the road and things we had to change on the fly and adapt. So many firsts, honestly, but, I'm so grateful for that experience because I learned from the successes and from the things that, could have been improved and were improved. I mean, organization and planning have definitely been something that's improved since Speak Out's launch, having that plan in place and just my overall knowledge of, the industry and how releasing a song actually works. And, this time I was grateful enough to have an awesome team, supporting me and helping me evolve and adapt and help me understand, releasing a song and helping me learn from my previous release. So there was definitely a lot to learn there and a lot to improve on that happened the second time round.
Ooh, so you took quite a few lessons from it, definitely making sure that you are making the most of this release here, which is fantastic. And you also mentioned the incredible team that helped to bring this song to life. I know that Annika, Spencer Shine were involved inside of this project here. So what was it like to work with such an acclaimed producer, acclaimed songwriters, musicians to help you here?
It was just, it's crazy to me. It's mind-blowing. I've known my producers, Justin and Spencer, for a while now because, they're in Brett Kissel's band and I've performed with Kissel before. And, when they called me to record Speak Out and said, do you want to record a debut single? I knew that I wanted to record one, but I had no idea what that was going to look like and everything. So I wasn't as involved in the actual process as I was for I'm in It, especially doing a co-write as well with, Speak Out. Again, I wrote all by myself. So, February 9th, I walked into Annika and Spencer's house and I just felt this like amazing energy, this amazing positive vibe from them. Annika, she's an awesome artist herself. And then again, her husband and my co-producer Spencer is just amazing. So, I was so happy to be writing with them. And, they had just found out they were pregnant with their first ever baby. So we were just all so happy to be there. And I think that's why we wrote such a positive song. And, it was the first time I was writing with them, their first baby. So I think the idea of first love was really in the air at that time. And then, fast forward to May when the song is ready to be recorded. And I was just ready to be involved in pick out instrumentation and voicings from these amazing musicians who played on the song. I'm so grateful to Brendan Waters and Sam Colson for playing on this tune. And I was just really grateful to be collaborating with these amazing creatives and, from those 5-hour days of singing vocals in the booth and trying to get those really difficult harmonies rhyme in it. There's some tough ones, to being in the control room, picking beats, bringing the song to life was just so much fun. And I think we all had a blast doing it. So I think the song really reflects on that for sure.
Wow. And it sounds like you got a little bit of a hand of that production thing as well. Maybe learned a little bit of what goes behind actually not just writing a song, but creating it and taking it and making it sound good.
Totally. I definitely did, learned all those fancy terms like stacked harmonies and all these different things and, the beats and stuff. I still got a lot to learn about all that stuff. I by no means could produce my own stuff right now, but I'm definitely learning. And Justin and Spencer and Brendan and Sam are just so awesome letting me be in there and collaborate with them. And I'm so, grateful for them. I'm just sitting there as like a sponge soaking in all of this stuff from them. So yeah, they're awesome.
Wow. Very, very glad to hear that. And of course, you mentioned the lyrics of the song, the theme of the song as well, which definitely, as you mentioned, new love. And of course, with you being quite young, that's you probably like the first love. And it can be a little bit of an emotion that can be difficult to put out into the world in general, and then to put it out into the world as your second single. What has it sort of been like to open yourself up like that?
Well, I mean, like you said, it's such an important moment in anyone's life just to be that vulnerable. But the best songs are the ones where the writers just wear their hearts on their sleeves and tell honest stories. If you think about the songwriters that have done well over the years and are doing well right now, it's the songs that are so personal, but that's what makes them, universal, that everyone can relate to. So I was actually at peace releasing this song because I knew that everyone could relate to it. And I was really proud and loved this song so much. And, because we're throwing around concepts for video actually. And I just know so many people of all walks of life that can still feel that initial rush of excitement with someone. But with that being said, it doesn't necessarily have to be with a partner either. And like you said, with my experience, being first love and everything, I related to this song through my love of music. And the first time I stepped on stage and I had no idea what I was doing, but I was just completely immersed and loving every minute of it. And again, you'd have to ask my co-writers, but I think for them, it was this first love of their new baby that was on the way. And that's what I love so much about this song, and was so happy about releasing it to the whole world to dance and sing to and bop along with.
Fantastic. And like you mentioned, releasing it out there for everyone else to sort of take in, get their own experiences, maybe remember a little bit of their own first loves themselves. So the song's been out for about 4 or 5 days now as of the recording of this interview here. So what has the feedback been like for this new track, I'm In It?
It's been incredible. Like, honestly, I didn't expect the amount of the love that the song's gotten stream-wise, actually. We're already at about 15,000 streams, and it's literally, again, been 2 weeks, and it's just, I've gotten so many comments from people saying how much they resonated with the tune and reminded them of like their first date with someone or their first, experience with love and those butterflies that they got. And that's honestly the greatest compliment you can get as an artist, is to have your song resonate with someone and, to make an impact on someone's life. So it's just been so humbling to see how much this song has resonated and how much people love it. I'm so happy.
And you mentioned that's just it, is people remembering those butterflies. There's not a lot of things that probably, well, I mean, as someone who has exactly done that, I've lived quite a bit of my life. I'm twice the age I was when I had my first true love. So it's, there's not a lot that really elicits that emotion. So it's very magical sort of to say that the song can sort of do that.
Yeah. And you know what? I think that's what I loved so much about it. Even when we came away with the demo, I knew that I wanted to record it as soon as I listened to the demo, because, I just felt this overwhelming feeling. And, my parents listened to it and they felt the same thing. And even my little sister, I can tell it's a good song when she's singing along to it and relating to it as well. And she's only 10, right? So it's just, it's such a special message. And I'm so happy that it's out and people can listen to it and interpret it in their own way.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And of course, you just haven't been sort of tackling these difficult, these emotional things just through lyric. You've also been using your music to create positive change inside of the community that you live in, inside of the things that are important to you. And you do that through live concerts and otherwise. And you have one of those actually coming up on your YouTube page. This Saturday, November 20th, Kaiya Live is going to be happening. So before we dive into the creation of this concert, I want to know, how exciting is it to be able to sort of have a little bit of a live performance of this new track, plus, create a little bit of good at the same time?
So exciting. Again, it's been a year in the making, this show. I can talk more about the creation and the inspiration behind it in a little bit. But, it's just a show that is all about spreading positivity and uplifting energy to everyone who's been affected by the pandemic, because no one's been spared. And especially our healthcare heroes who are out there, protecting everybody and keeping everyone safe. And also we're raising awareness for these 3 amazing organizations, Wickfest, CINIM, and A Sound Life as well. So I'm really excited because this is such a different experience, with it being an online virtual concert that's free, but it's also a benefit concert. So it's this really unique experience that I'm, again, so excited for people to have a chance to just, feel some positivity, even if only for an hour. So that's happening, this Saturday at 7 p.m. Mountain Standard, which is, 9 p.m. Eastern and 6 p.m. Pacific on my YouTube channel. And I'm just so, I'm not going to use excited this time. I'm also pumped and thrilled and a bunch of different words of how excited I am for this.
Yes, pull out the thesaurus, because one word just isn't good enough.
It is not at all. You just got to have a bajillion different words of how excited you are.
I love it. So, of course, you mentioned that you can only dive so far into the creation process. We don't want to give away too much of the magic of this live show before the fans get to see it. So what exactly can you tell us about the creation process? Where was it filmed? Sort of all of that sort of thing.
Sure. Well, the concert was actually first inspired by my parents, who were both frontline healthcare workers during the pandemic. My mom, she's an ER physician, and my dad was a Stars Air ambulance pilot, our air rescue service. And it was really stressful to watch them walk out the door every day and face this. And I could only imagine how stressful it was for them. So, I decided then that, I couldn't just sit on my couch and watch The Office or Brooklyn Nine-Nine all day, as much as it's what I wanted to do. I needed to help, like my parents were doing, the best way I knew how, which is through music. And that's how, Kaiya Live was created. So we filmed the show up in Production World in Edmonton, which is a phenomenal streaming location. And they're just amazing up there, amazing people, amazing organization, amazing facility. So we filmed it and pre-recorded it up there with this amazing band. They're all members who have played with Brett Kissel over the years, as I mentioned before. Just, when I called them up on the phone, I was like, can you play on my show? I was so nervous. I'd be afraid they said no, but they were just so happy to be a part of this, and I'm so grateful to them. I couldn't imagine what the show would sound and look like without them. And then as well, actually, we have 2 feature performers in the show who are from Australia. Ido Khan, who is the co-founder of A Sound Life, and then Lenka, who is an amazing Australian singer, really well known over there. So I'm excited that we can bring her into Canada and also stream the show out into Australia. So yeah, it's going to be an awesome show. It's 15 songs, originals and covers, and it's just I have to say it's our baby. This has been like it's been a long time in the making. Actually, I have a poster here. It's very exciting. So yeah, hopefully people can tune in because this show, I don't know what else to say. I'm kind of out of words because I'm just thinking about it getting streamed and getting very excited. My heart's just like racing. But yeah, it was such a fun show to film and create, and I couldn't have done it without all of these amazing, amazing people.
Okay, so you mentioned that it is a live stream. So of course, if the listener here to this interview, if the fans want to partake in this live experience, or if they want to find out more about Kaiya Gamble in general, where can they go to do both of these things?
Okay, so I like to call this the hub because it has my social media and it has links to donate to the organizations, more information about them. It has the direct link to my YouTube channel where the live stream is happening. So you can visit kaiyalive.com, KAIYA live.com. It has everything on there, as I said before, and just once again, I'd really love to see you all there, really, because yeah, this show's just been a labor of love, and I can't wait for everybody to feel the energy that's gone into this show and hopefully, feel that comfort, if only for an hour. And if you can't make it to the show at 7:00, I'm having a live after party on Zoom after at 8:30, and the link to sign up for that, it's free as well. The link to register is on kaiyalive.com as well. So that's basically the place to go, kaiyalive.com.
All right, and you can find a link to that hub, Kaiya Live, in the description to this interview as well. Make it nice and easy for you, as we like to do. Kaiya, I have had a blast chatting here with you so far today. I have one last question for you. Are you ready for it?
I'm ready.
All right. So we have talked about this process of growing into this sophomore single, taking a little bit more, learning lessons from your first single, doing your first co-writes, getting inside of the studio, and sort of also, like we just talked about, creating positive change with your art as well. So over the process of this last year here, what I would love to know is, how has this time, how have all of these things, how have they helped you grow as a person, or what have they taught you about yourself?
That's a fantastic question. I think being stuck at home has really taught all of us something about ourselves because we've just had so much time to reflect on who we are. And I think, one thing that the pandemic has taught me is that this is what I want to do for the rest of my life, because I was just on this streak of live performing. It was just going up and up and up. I was live performing as much as I could and just living every minute of it and loving every minute of it. And then suddenly no more live performing and everything was shut down and we were in quarantine. And not to mention my parents were going out the door to go and risk their lives. And from that stress on top of it, I was wondering, how am I gonna do this if I don't have music in my life? I didn't feel any joy without music. And I just remember it like yesterday. I was sitting on the couch, just like bawling my eyes out to my parents saying, I can't do anything else. This is what I'm meant to do. There's nothing else that I can do. So it's given me a drive to keep going and a motivation and just a clarification inside myself, just knowing that this is what I'm going to do until I'm literally too old to do it anymore. And because I love it so much and I love connecting with people through music, because it's such a powerful thing and such a universal language. So I think that's the biggest lesson I've learned during COVID. And the biggest thing I've learned about myself is I can't live without music. This is what I'm going to do. Whether I like it or not, whether this is what I am doing, because I definitely like it.
Oh, well, I'm very glad to hear that, and I'm very, very excited. Well, I'll use the word again. I'm not a thesaurus, but I am very, very excited to see where this musical journey continues to carry you, Kaiya. And thank you so very much for joining us here today on the Desert Tiger Podcast.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. I've had so much fun with you today, Colton.